Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. I am in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So that means I am actually home. But home meaning I am in the country where I reside because I am not originally from Malaysia and I'm not a Malaysian citizen, but this is where I live. Here it's evening, it is now 7:40 p.m. So hi everybody, the entire zero of you. Okay, so I've not made a video in a long time, which is what I normally say because that's the truth. Because there was nothing that I wanted to talk about specifically. But today I want to talk about something that, as usual, that I saw on the internet. And it was a video posted by this lawyer. I will link the video that he made about this issue here. So what you should do with this video is you have to first watch his video, okay? Because I don't want to embed it in here because it becomes very long. First watch his video, then after you've watched it, you come back to this video, okay? Otherwise you will not know what I'm talking about. Okay, but anyway, I followed this lawyer, Bruce something, I can't remember his name, during the Johnny Depp trial because I like to watch, what I liked about the trial was I watch it and then because I'm not a lawyer, I go and look at what lawyers have to say, and then although whatever the law says, I still like to make my own, come to my own conclusions and form my own opinions about things. So this is the same thing here. So there's this very famous person, or shall I say infamous, notorious person. His name is Andrew Tate. Maybe some of you know of him. I don't really know much about what he does because I don't really follow him. What I know, the little I know about him is he was some kickboxing champion or something, and he's very good looking. And I'm not a person who likes a man with a bald man, but he has a very beautiful face. But he's just a child. I mean, he's old enough to be my son. But other than that, I did know that he got cancelled at one time, and then people don't like him. They say he's misogynistic and all that. But usually, I just listen whenever people say someone is misogynistic. I just listen because most of the time when they say these things, it's not true. It's just that they don't like what this person is saying. So I'm not saying that this Andrew Tate is not, because I don't know. I've not seen his own work. What I did see was, because I watch Just Pearly Things, and I did see him. He was a guest on the show where he was talking about women and relationships. And I watched Just Pearly Things because I love Pearl, and I love Auntie. Auntie is she's boss, I guess, maybe because she's in my generation. Anyway, and he was on there, and a lot of the things he said I found very interesting. So I had no problem with him in that situation. But I mean, but then he was talking about that subject, and it was on that in that podcast. So I don't know in his own what he's talking about, because when depending on where you go and what the subject is, your opinions change. Not opinions change, but people might agree with you on one opinion you have of something and not on the other. So I don't know what his other opinions are on other things, but on everything that was discussed in this discussion, I liked about him. Other than that, I know nothing about the man. Okay. And maybe I'll try and find out more about him, but at this stage, I'm not really. But anyway, I just want to give my opinion on what this lawyer was saying about this whole thing. And the reason I want to comment on this is because I was in this kind of industry. Okay? And this industry is the flesh trade. Now, there's all kinds of flesh trade. Meat market. It could be fashion, theater, movies, sports, prostitution, pornography. To me, that's all flesh trade. It's all meat market, because in these kind of professions, it is your body that is the tool. It is your body that is the asset. It is your body that is being sold. and controlled. Okay, so for me, they're all the same thing. Maybe for you it's not, but this is my opinion about the flesh. I call it the flesh trade because what are you selling? Yes, it's your talent, but that talent is manifested within flesh. Okay, right. So after you've watched the video, you come back, and this is what I want to say about. This is my response to what this lawyer had to say. My response is, so why are women making these videos in the first place? These videos that they are talking about. And I think because they're talking about these OnlyFans girls and these webcam girls. I'm sure a lot of you know what OnlyFans girls are all about, women, and also you all know about what the webcam women are all about, right? I'm sure we all know this. So anyway, so my thing is, why are these women making these videos in the first place? It goes without saying that if you are consenting to work in the flesh trade, there's going to be exploitation. Women are also stupid to want to work in this industry, so I'm not surprised that this is happening to them. Everybody is about making money no matter how. Is it illegal to sell women who want to be sold? Okay, so if you hear what the lawyer says, you'll hear why I said this. And like I said, I was in the flesh trade, so I know how it works. And I still work with women who are in the flesh trade, who are like prostitutes. Okay? So I go on saying, a woman's asset is her body, because while there are men, they can sell it. I'm sorry, Mr. Lawyer, but this is just true. That's why women lead in the fashion, prostitution, and pornography industry. So let's get real. By the way, is it illegal for women to do this kind of videos, or does my body, my choice not apply here? If a woman is stupid enough to make money for him, this is for Andrew Tate, then isn't that her choice? Maybe we should teach women to not get involved in the flesh trade in the first place, because Tate is right. This is just how the flesh trade works. It's exploitation on all levels. I don't think this lawyer has a clue on how the flesh trade works. Everyone who is in it knows this, and those who don't, well, good luck with being so stupid. Now, before I continue on what else I replied to him, I just want to tell you why I say I was in the flesh trade. I was a dancer all my life. I used to be a ballet dancer. Then I went into what they call commercial dancing. I went into extravaganza kind of work. Extravaganza kind of work requires you to be a certain height, a certain weight, you have to have a certain look, and you have to dance topless and wear a G-string. Now, some women in the show were not topless, but every single woman in the show wore a G-string. Now, you tell me, other than, well, as far as I'm concerned, the only time I think it is okay for a woman to be dancing around and shaking around in a G-string or topless, if that is her culture or she is performing a cultural dance. Example, I am African and I am Bushman. So if I am wearing my traditional attire, which is just beads and a loincloth, that is fine because that is my culture. And if as a Bushman I am doing a cultural dance, that is what I would be wearing because that is the Bushman attire. Now you may think, that's wrong. It doesn't matter. That is my culture. So get over it. Get over it. And the other thing is, or if you are a dancer and you are performing in a cultural show. Even you are not the Bushman or the Zulu or the Venda or whatever tribe, but you are performing as one of those tribes, and that is the costume. Then that is fine because it's within the culture. Okay, but this is an extravaganza. It's a tits and feather show. It's a show where it is Western culture. It's a Western cultural performance. So why are we trained dancers driving around on stage topless and in G-strings? You know why? Because we are being exploited. And I knew this because for 8 years I tried to get into this show and I kept getting turned down, not because I'm not a good dancer, because I'll have you know, I was the highest qualified dancer in all of these shows that I was ever in. I knew that when I went into that show. I consented to be exploited. And if the other girls didn't know that they've been exploited, well, like I said, they're stupid. But every single woman on that stage, regardless of race, was being exploited because it was a Western culture show and there was no reason for our backsides to be hanging out or for our breasts to be hanging out. Zero. But like I say, it's the flesh trade. We know we want to be in this kind of performance. It pays well. We need to work. Well, I'm willing to be exploited. Right? Okay. Strip is a different story. Because for me, as far as stripping is concerned, I also did stripping. And how I did that was I had a fake, I wore something fake at the bottom. Even my partner didn't know that. Only my agent knew that. Some people found out while I was in Taiwan and they got very angry about it, but that's fine. Strip is different because strip can also be artistic. Okay, it does not have to be flesh straight. It can also be that you are enacting a story. Like you can see in movies, like if you're supposed to be acting as a stripper, then of course you would be required to strip because you are acting. And also even, which is the kind of stripping I used to do. I always did reenactments. I reenacted the scene from You Can Leave the movie 9.5 Weeks, You Can Leave Your Hat On. So, you know, this the whole song, take off your coat, take off your hat. So it's an reenactment. So there's artistry to it. Nudity is just part of the artistry. There is also nudity in other artistic ways, like if you're doing nude photography or when the dance is just about the body, not about costume and that. It's just about how the body moves, the muscles, something. So there's many ways about being creative with the body. But the kind of shows we did and what these girls are doing on videos, this is just pure meat market. And with the meat market industry comes exploitation. Okay, and like I say, every single woman who was on stage with me, whether they like it or not, they were being exploited. And we were all being exploited by men. Because all our choreographers were men, well, 98% of them, and the directors, management were men. Okay, so I think in 2023, oh yes, by the way, Happy New Year. We have to get over ourselves, women. Right. So continuing on what the lawyer was saying. So again, you have to watch his video before you can understand why I'm saying this. So every job is set out in such a way that you feel you need the job and need the people who are supplying you with a job. Duh. It's good business in any service industry not to give your clients lists to your workers. This makes sense. I mean, just speak to hair salons and they'll tell you. Again, watch the video first and then you read this. I don't know why this lawyer has a problem with control. because even NBA players are controlled because the body is a mere tool in that industry. And like I mentioned before, even as dancers, you are a mere tool. You are the tool of the choreographer. And the same goes for models, the same goes for people in the porn industry, in any kind of fashion. And I know because I choreograph fashion shows, and I know when the model shows up, I don't care about her or his feelings, their intellect. No, I just want them to show up, be tall, be slim, have a beautiful face, and make the outfit look good. That's all. Of course, to me, you are just a hanger. You are a mere tool. You are just meat walking around. Harsh, but that's the truth. People who are in this industry, if you don't know this, then a wake-up call. Maybe that's why you cannot be successful. You can ask any sports person. They know it's a meat market. Your body is controlled by your job. You have to sleep early, you have to eat properly, you have to be the right weight, you have to work out, you have to have the right look, you have to work on your skills. And then you have managers and agents who control where you work, who you work with, how many times you work, how much you get sold for. You just sit there and listen, okay? Okay, so the next thing is probably because they were talking about taxes. So I said I can't comment on the taxes because I'm stupid when it comes to this. So to the lawyer, you are not bashing Andrew Tate. You are bashing all women who are stupid enough to go into the flesh trade. There is absolutely nothing wrong in any adult woman recruiting other adult women to join you on a venture. I think this is because he was saying how Andrew used some of the girls who worked for him to recruit other girls. And so I'm saying there's nothing wrong in any adult woman recruiting other adult women to join in on a venture. We do that all the time, right? Because we are all consenting adults. So Epstein and that woman he worked with, they did this because the lawyer was trying to compare what Tate was doing to what Epstein and his girlfriend were doing. But I said Epstein did this with underage girls. And there is a big difference because consent, right? And yes, all of this can be used in a court of law. But then why are so many women willing to be used and exploited? Why are so many women on OnlyFans and making these webcams? I've seen South African girls doing it as well on Instagram. I call them the Kalgat Macy's, posing from corner to corner, half naked. What's that? Because, and I look at their followers. There are a lot of followers. They get a lot of money for that. Of course, it's the flesh trade, and if they're willing to do it, someone is going to exploit you. It can't, you know. Right, then I go on saying, because then this guy the lawyer was going on about how immoral Andrew Tate is for doing the nya 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 nya. So this is what I have to say about it. Like I say, I was in the industry. Yes, Tate is immoral and disrespectful to women. And these women who do this work are also immoral and disrespectful. They are disrespectful to themselves. And while they are willing to be this way, there is always going to be a man who is going to exploit them. Because like I said again, exploitation comes with a territory. Okay, so that was a lot. Also a lot of personal information about myself, but that's fine. I don't care that I was in the flesh trade. I knew that one day I would be able to talk about it because I knew what I was getting into. I knew one day, like I say, one day I will talk about it. And I know that this is what women do. And I know that exploitation comes with the territory. So anyway, please like, subscribe, comment. Of course, I'm talking to nobody. And let me just give a little bit of a thank you, shout out to my sponsors. So it's obvious who's sponsoring me. Cheers, keep well, and again, Happy New Year.